Namaste. Thanks for stopping by again for the rest of our list on how to be a good girl while traveling around the world in places like Nepal. It's our goal to keep our videos under 10 minutes. So we stopped that, we ran out of time, so here's the rest of the list. First, a little bit of a recap and a few more things that I thought of. First, number one, don't take a local bus outside of the Kathmandu Valley. Now, of course, it's only $4 cheaper, but you don't have to stay in Kathmandu or Tamil. You can catch a bus from Bhaktapur and other places in the valley. So if you want to go to Pokhara or Chidwan, you don't have to stay in Kathmandu and catch the bus there. Number two, if you plan to do trekking above 4,500 meter, you will want to schedule it around your monthly, so you don't go during that time. And there's a couple more reasons for that. But even if you're just getting over diarrhea or bad case of the flu, if you caught something on the airplane, take it easy. This is the Himalayas. You're going to hear me say that a lot, and I'm sorry, but it's the Himalayas. Another reason that I thought about is if you're up there during your monthly and there's any blood at all, the animals can smell that, and so it could put you in a higher risk. So just another couple things to keep in mind. I know I'm a worrier, but what the heck. This is the Himalayas, and when things go wrong, they can really go wrong. So don't let that stop you, but keep it in mind. Number three, if you have a favorite brand of tampon, be sure you bring it. Be careful about hygiene. If you can use a moon cup instead, that's even better because it won't be any waste. Also, one of the most important things, don't go trekking alone. At least take a local guide. But you know, when I was thinking about the idea about the local guide or a trekking company, the trekking company pays your room and food. If you have a local guide, it's not going to really save you all that much. It will save you some if you're on a budget. But anyway, I like the idea of using the local entrepreneurs, businessmen, not just people to undercut. And sometimes, you know, you do get what you pay for. I really hope these things help you to have a safer and more enjoyable time in Nepal. You know what they say, leave only footprints and take only memories. So I hope all your memories in Nepal are happy ones. So here we go with the rest of our list. Six, be careful with hygiene. Wash before and after when you change your tampon or moon cup with clean water. The water in the bathroom can be polluted, so if possible, bring liquid soap from the hospital pharmacy that doesn't need to be rinsed off. This soap is like a nurse would use to give a sponge bath. Try it before you leave to make sure it won't cause an irritation. If you haven't yet, watch our video on how to find a toilet in Kathmandu. 7. Never use the bucket in the bathroom for splashing on your privates after using the toilet. Use your own water or at least know where it comes from. 8. Trim the bushes so you won't always need to use toilet paper or water. When you use those squat toilets, they're kind of smelly sometimes and you want to get out as soon as you can. So keep it simple. Number 9. This is the most important just about. Do not have unprotected sex. You know that, but here are a couple of things you might not have thought about. The men are not circumcised and they struggle with the same water issues as women do. If the young man has neglected keeping his junk clean, it can cause a lot of problems. Many of the women here have fibroid cysts. And hygiene can play an important part in this, or at least that's what I think. We recently had a guest who was sleeping with her trekking guide, which is fine. When she got her monthly, she was at our guest house, and she told me for the first time she had cramps so bad she had to spend the entire day in bed. She couldn't understand it, but my guess is it had something to do with her sleeping arrangement. Also, society doesn't speak openly about such things, so there is no information for your new friend to understand disease. They still think the common cold comes from a change in weather. And I'd like to tell you a quick story that I hope you'll remember. I had a friend, a tourist friend that came and got involved with a Nepali man. Well, the first time they had sex, they used a condom. But the next morning, he wasn't quite as firm as, ordinarily he was, or the night before. But he couldn't get the condom on. So she just said, oh, what the heck, what are the chances? So she went ahead and had unprotected sex. Well, the next day or the following day, she got up and she realized she didn't have any clean underwear. So she says, oh, sweetie, I forgot to wash my underwear. Oh, well, I'll just wear jeans. It's no big deal. He starts going off. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, my God, you can't. And she's like, why? He says, well, because of that green, that slimy stuff that comes out of you. And she's like, excuse me, but there's no slimy stuff coming out of me. 3 days later, there was slimy stuff coming out of her. What it was a yeast infection. Thank God it wasn't anything worse. But he had had it so long that he had been giving it to so many women that he thought all women had this mucus stuff coming out of them, and his urethra was being damaged. Yeast is a little animal thing, a little fungus, and it was crawling up his into his penis to the extent that he wasn't able to get an erection at 30 years old. Next is inappropriate dress. Every time I go to one of the nearby cities like Kathmandu or Bhaktapur, I see young women wearing inappropriate clothing. Yes, you can get away with it in Kathmandu, but the older men and all the women will look at you in a bad way. And really, I think the young Nepali men will too. They'll just think you're easy, like back in the day in the West. If you wear it out in the villages, though, now you'll bring disrespect to yourself. The trick is to keep your legs, stomach, and shoulders covered, just to the knees, and just the shoulder. And you can wear short sleeve t-shirts, it's fine. And the last one, maybe this should have been first. Never, ever, ever say the F word. Don't even think freaking will work. There is no excuse and zero tolerance for such speech in this society. So you'll really do yourself a favor if you just practice before you get here. If you're from America, I mean. Everybody else is probably fine. Anyway. Okay, so there you have it. Alma's list of how to be safe in Nepal and be a good girl while you're traveling here. One of the things that I mentioned was dress. You don't do the elbows or the shoulder. You can do the elbows here. But the knees, no. The midriff, no. Unless you're wearing a sari. So, what do you wear? Well, what you can get is something like I'm wearing. This is 100% cotton, made in Nepal, spun in Nepal, and they call them like tourist pants. I don't know if these are the actual tourist pants, but the tourist pants are like lower. But they fit in your suitcase, your backpack. They'll dry really well. You can take them up to the mountains when you're trekking. And when you get back home, they're great. They're you can just throw them in a overnight bag, take them, sleep in them overnight, and then you don't have to get dressed in the morning. I used to have scrubs I used to do that with. I'm going to include this in the shopping video so you can get some different styles and all. But it's just one option to kind of help you to not be scolded for wearing a sleeveless when there's nothing else. But these are very cool to wear. But I do want to apologize to my Nepali young men friends. They're really some of the nicest, kindest, gentlest, most trustworthy people I've ever met. But I wanted my female listeners and viewers to understand just a couple of cultural differences. So I hope that helps, and see you next time.